Hi, America.
Hello, America. Welcome to Angel and the Wiz. Chemo week 15
Whoop,
of
whoop.
18.
Almost done.
Good. Would have been a nice fight started this, wouldn't it? This
What are we
week's
talking
song.
about today?
Well,
Tell us the song first.
this week's show is the song is "True Tonight," and it has its own relevancy. When I get to it and to talk about it, I'll tell you about the song.
How
Which
do you
one?
get True Tonight from D-V-E-F?
That's Joe Franklin.
Scribble L.
That's Joe
H?
Franklin
Okay.
equals 2430.
Okay.
Next show. Now, do you know what next week's show is?
What?
The 4th of July.
Get out!
I kid you not.
We're gonna
Can't
be on
make
the
that
4th of
stuff
July.
up. What's that?
I even wore blue for
Did you really? How am I doing? Oh, we're doing. Well, yeah, we're good. Just considering I'm looking over there.
We're
So-
using a new mic, so
That's
New
right. We're using a
microphone
new
system.
mic system this week. We want to try and see if we get better results. You know, than we.
hopefully.
Well, it should.
That means I should talk louder and you should talk quieter.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Glad we're on the same page.
Oh, yes. And if you notice that we're going to be on extra good behavior this week, it's because
He is.
Angel's mom is
My
here.
mom's here.
This is the
My
first
mommy's here,
time
right at the camera.
in 63
Hi. It's
shows.
my mom.
That's a year. How many weeks? 11 weeks. That this young lady has come and done the show. But this is the first time in 63 weeks, so we've had somebody watching what we're doing. So,
Yes.
and because it's her mom, we want to be on our best behavior.
He wants to be on the
So,
best behavior.
we
My
probably-
mom knows what I'm like.
Right. Well, you know, and she
I love you, mommy.
she can always watch the shows too. Have you seen any of the shows yet?
Yeah.
Good for you. And you still came over. That's good. Now I have a few things.
Okay.
None of these are political this week.
Thank
but
God.
oh no, this thing.
No. Well, we can skip that one.
What, the teachers union?
Oh.
Says it's
That's teachers union?
It says the teachers union needs to go. The teachers need to reap their benefits. And this comes from a story, I think it was in Chicago, where 7 teachers were given awards and then they were given pink slips because first hired, they were younger teachers. They got 7 awards for being great teachers and then they got thrown out and they left all the old folks that are, of course, that's the problem. That is the problem with the unions. You got to be able to get rid of the people that don't do it right, and you got to be able to support the people that are doing it right. Otherwise, what's their motivation? Why should they even try? All they should be trying to do is stay long, and then they're in.
Well, I'll tell you that down where I teach, they the principal's pretty good about. She'll tell you right off the bat. She'll say, you know, you get like, she'll give you like 2 months, 2 to 3 months. The first quarter, you get the first quarter of the year to figure out classroom management and instruction and all that stuff, and then after that, if she thinks you're not cutting it, she'll boot you out and she'll find someone else that's better. So,
Well, that's
and
good.
I've seen her do it.
But we still have the problem with once you hit that tenure, that
We don't have tenure.
You guys don't have tenure?
No.
That's great.
We're a right to work state, so we don't have that.
That means that you have to do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But that's great. That's you know, that's America. You know what I mean? Trying to do the best you can.
It works in some aspects.
We got an email. We got an email today.
Okay.
The other day, I don't know what day it came in. And it's about green. You know, all this green stuff. You know, and it's kind of funny.
Are you green?
I'm an American. I live my life. I do
Okay.
the best I can. And you'll see, I'm an old guy. So you're the young girl. I'm the old man.
That's
and you'll
pretty
see
obvious,
in
yes.
this.
Okay.
No
We'll
need
see.
to sling mud. But you'll see in this why, or you'll just see why people of my generation react sometimes the way we do to all this green talk. Because for all the greenness that people are trying to have, you'll see in this that, you know, let's
I see it?
yeah, well, yeah, but then you're going to read it while I'm talking. So don't read it out loud. I marked off
Okay.
so we go back and forth because I only printed one.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I have to make, there's this small editorial comment. Something is happening relative to the Triple Crown. Now, a couple of weeks ago, a horse didn't make it to the Triple Crown. And all the news talked about it, the fact that, well, this hasn't happened since 1978. Oh, contraire. The fact of the matter is, in 2008, there was a horse called Big Brown that had won the Preakness and the Kentucky Derby and was headed in. So that 2008, not 1978. Why they're trying to bury this story, I don't know why. But in 2008, Big Brown won the first 2 races, was going into the third, and all of a sudden had a problem with their left hoof. And they found out after the race was won that the horseshoe on the right side, wasn't on all the way. Maybe that affected his performance. Okay? And now, all of a sudden, in 2012, we have another Kentucky Derby Preakness winner, and all of a sudden, now their left front leg has a problem. And I'm asking myself, well, why would somebody want to prevent a horse from winning the Triple Crown? Is it because they could lose money or game? I mean, what's that? Or is it one of these where they call you on the phone or they walk you out back and they say, well, either you share in the winnings if you win or your horse doesn't run. So, I mean, something's not right. And that's not good. And, you know, we can't tolerate stuff like that. It's just not right. Okay, Big Brown, green we got. Triple Crown. I have to look at my glasses. I can
look through your glasses?
Yes. Oh! We have a stuffed audience. Every week when we come here, we do have an audience. It's a stuffed audience. And it's up there. And I have never brought it down to show to you. My wife has never suffered the absence of stuffed critters. And that is the collection of them. So I'm showing them right now as we sit here. The critters from one end to the other. I mean, she has a substantial stuffed critter. That's our balcony, okay? So we're going to show that to you this week. Okay, so what's happening?
Not a heck of a lot. School's out for the summer.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay. Does that mean that the 2 of your job, do you do summer counseling and stuff?
Well, at the online job, I have to work year round.
Now, and then what does that mean? And then just explain that to us again, for those of us that aren't completely familiar, and those that might have missed the explanation once before. What is the online thing again?
Online teaching. I teach high school online through the internet.
Okay, and is it just your specialty, math, or do you deal with other things as well?
Oh, I only do math.
Okay.
Yeah, I only do math because I'm not certified to teach any other subject.
Okay, very good. So what else is going on?
My sister moves down today.
She does?
Yes.
So this is a great sacrifice to be here. You're going to help her after this?
No, I'm not helping. No. I mean, maybe pick her up at the air. I know I'm picking her and my niece and nephew up at the airport. Her husband's driving down with the U-Haul.
Oh.
Full of stuff. And I think he arrives tomorrow. But
they have a place?
They do already, yeah.
Okay.
But when they first told me that they were coming down, I said, I have no problem watching my niece and nephew.
Right.
I will. So I'm not helping you unpack squat. You are on your own.
Oh.
I'm not doing it.
Younger sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the oldest of 3 girls.
Okay.
My father has earned every single gray hair on his head.
I'm sure.
Yes.
And then now.
Very proud of that.
Now, and is it already 2 marriages under his belt?
Yes, the 2 younger ones. So I'm the old maid in the family.
Oh, my goodness gracious! And how are things going with what's his name?
What's his name is doing well.
Okay.
He's excited school's out.
All right. Oh yeah, right. Because that's his full-time gig. Now, what does he do during the summer? Do you guys get paid through the summer?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
He doesn't know what he does during the summer yet because he's not had this before. So
this is all new.
This is all new. Although I think he says he's like, I'm gonna sleep in every day, and I'm like,
yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure, you'll do that, and but he'll get up at 10 o'clock in the morning every day,
right.
And I can't do that because that to me feels like I wasted a day.
Really?
Yeah, I have to be up and functioning at the latest 9 a.m. So.
Oh, you should talk to Bear. Bear has this 4 o'clock ritual that he got from his brother Wolf when we had Wolf. And they used to go. Wolf, he had to go out. He was an older dog. He had to go out. So it was 5 o'clock then, and then somehow it got moved to 4 o'clock, and he comes right to the edge of the bed. I put my hand over the side so he knows, and then I pet him. We go out at 4 o'clock, and I come back, and very rarely that I have to be at work. Usually 8 o'clock. Something like that. I mean, it's like 4 hours, 3.5 hours. So I could be sleeping or whatever, but it's just not to be.
The cats are on a pretty strict not they're on a semi-strict schedule of feeding.
Right.
During the school year, they get fed at like 6 a.m., 6 p.m.
Right.
But in the summer, I changed that so they get fed a little bit later,
Right.
probably about 7 or 8 o'clock.
You feed them twice a day?
I feed them twice a day, yeah.
Is that unusual, twice a day?
Yeah, for cats usually, if you have 1 or 2 cats in the household, you can people usually leave a bowl of dry food
Oh, sure,
out,
and they'll just go get it when they
just go
want?
when they're hungry. I have 6.
Okay.
And they've all lived a substantial amount of their time outside, so they
Okay.
still have that
If it's there, we got to
fight-
eat it?
yeah, fight for
Oh, right.
food
Okay.
mentality. So you feed them, and you only give them a small portion, which is enough for them to finish. And they all finish at about the same time, because if one finishes before the other,
They go to that bowl,
they
right?
go to the next bowl and push the other one out of the way. So the most aggressive cats that eat, Gato eats in his own room, and he'll in two bites he'll eat his entire bowl
Right.
of food. So he just stays in his own room when it's
And
time
do
to
you
eat.
feed them dry or moist food?
Both. I feed
Oh,
them both.
Okay.
And then Gandalf eats in his own room just because he has issues. So he eats his own.
We are.
Yeah.
You
But-
still doing the acupuncture?
I ran out of needles. I have to go and get more.
Or you can't reuse the needles? So you use them once in a
Yeah,
way?
use the ones you have to throw them away.
It's a lot like chemo.
Yeah. I suppose. Anyway, so talking back about the feeding
Yes,
regimen.
yes. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to
so-
digress.
During the school year, on a weekend when I try and sleep in, Gato is Mr. I'm hungry now, and he will stand right over me, put his paws right here and his nose right here on my nose,
Really?
and wait for me to open my eyes. And at a couple times I've opened my eyes and I've done this, Wah! And then he goes flying, and and it's Cirque du Soleil in the house because the cats are flying everywhere.
And
'cause
what time does he like to eat? He's an early riser? No?
He'll do a 6 a.m.
Oh,
If he's
geez.
not fed by 6 a.m. on a weekend, he'll wake me up.
Okay.
And usually I just push him off the bed and roll over.
And they're still using the car, the tree, right?
Yes.
That's settled in?
They love that tree.
That's good. I thought, 'cause it took a little while to get used to it, right?
It does take a little while to get used to something new in the house,
Right.
but they love it.
Does Adam realize it'll take them a little while to get used to? It's not going to happen that way.
They love him.
Yeah, now, how's he doing with that? Because remember,
Better.
That's good enough.
He's
Why do
doing
you have
better.
that devious girl look that I'm getting away with something and I know it? Listen, and for you guys that watch the show, no, that you followed this
Followed the
romance, this
whole
whole
thing.
thing from before it started, and watched it grow and
Yeah.
and everything else, So he's getting more used to the cats.
He is. He's adjusting to them really well.
Okay.
He now has conversations with them.
Oh, that's a big step.
Yeah, I'll go to the bathroom and I'll come out and I'll hear his voice, and I'll hear Callie or Gandalf meowing back at him. So he has conversations with them. It's really sweet.
Well, and now, but he never had like what would you call it? It wasn't like he had. He wasn't allergic, or
He's
was
got
he?
allergies to cats, and it's usually the pet dander.
Okay.
And he's got a similar allergy that I do, where if I touch the cats and then touch my face, my eyes start to water and get itchy, and then they get puffy.
Right.
And I'll probably start to sneeze and have a little bit of breathing issue, but not deathly.
Right.
Not a death response, and never a skin irritation. Some people get skin rashes from animals, but I don't get that at all. And neither does he. But when it's high allergy season outside, like
Right.
it's been with the storms that we've been having,
Okay.
and everything stirred up in the air, when the allergies are really bad outside, it's almost amplified inside.
Right.
So he hasn't been coming over as much the last 2 weeks as he would. Even he goes, I would come over, but I can't. He goes, I can't spend a lot of time in the house because of the pet dander.
So,
So,
do you go?
no, I haven't,
Okay.
because I've had a lot of work I needed to do on online,
Uh-huh.
and I get distracted when I'm there.
Well, how does this? I mean, I know this may sound really ignorant.
Probably not.
Listen, I have to get used to the new mic position. I keep looking at this stupid thing. We've changed it. We
It's
used,
right here, guys.
Right. We used to have, lavaliers, and they're still in the back. But I noticed last week that I was not happy with the lavaliers' performance, so the lavaliers got ejected. and we went to the standard format in television land, which is boom mics. Excuse me. So we have the boom mic this week, and it's the first week of the boom mic, and you can't see it, but we can see it, and it's right here, and I keep looking at this stupid thing like I'm talking to it instead of to you. So, but it gives us better sound.
I hope that I sound well.
Oh, I can hear you. And the
Okay.
thing that and see and you
Here's
know,
a tour of the studio, folks.
right, and it just it gives us a more even sound.
Okay.
Although it was nice on YouTube. When the show is seen on YouTube, it gets stereo.
Oh,
So
cool.
you're on your side and I'm on my side.
That's cool.
That's gone. We've sacrificed that this week.
Sacrifice stereo for
That's right.
better sound quality.
Okay, listen, I was going to save this for the next show, but let's just go ahead and do it. And for those of
Because
you
we're
that are
gonna
going to
run
be
out of things
watching,
to talk about.
no, but I just wanted
Okay.
to prepare them for the fact that this being one of the most insignificant programs on television, that you'll notice that next week is even more insignificant because I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Okay, so I got this email, and I started reading it, and I started realizing, yes,
I think this is what he said when I walked in today. He says, I bet there's stuff that you've never heard of or is before your time or something.
Right.
And I'm like,
that's what I guess.
you'd be surprised. So I think you should read the whole thing, and I'll tell you everything that I've actually participated in.
You don't want to read it at all?
No.
Okay. Look at that. Oh, what you have participated in? Have
Things that I have done.
Okay, here's the story. This is the email. Checking out at a store. I don't know where this comes from, right? So don't send me letters. Checking out at the store, the young cashier suggested to the older woman that she should bring her own grocery bags because plastic bags weren't good for the environment. And let me point out to those of you who do use your own bags, there's a real concern about bacteria growing in the reused bags. So make
You have
sure
to
that
wash
you
'em.
clean. You have to wash them. You have to clean them. You know, I tried telling this to Tina. She folds it up. She puts it. Okay, see, she's slowly trying to get rid of me through bacteria from the Publix food store. But be that as it may, those of you who reuse your, it's probably not true. It's probably,
not true at
Probably
all.
hyperbole, but the idea is that if you
It's
do
from
a
Sweet Bait.
reusable bag, you should wash it. Okay,
Okay.
with conscious safety first. The woman apologized and explained, "We didn't have this green thing back in my day." I can say that because I'm an old guy. The clerk responded, "That's our problem today. Your generation did not care enough to save our environment for future generations." And this is some young cashier talking to a generation that fought the Second World War, the Korean War, and had done more to make this country and the world a better, safer place. You know, and just to digress for just a second, do you notice that when people need help anywhere in the world, they call America? When people try to escape from any place, they come to America. There's no need to apologize for America. Not to digress.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Ready.
Well, she was right. Our generation, and I have to admit that's me, our generation didn't have the green thing. Back then, we returned milk bottles, soda bottles, beer bottles to the store. The store sent them back to the plant to be washed and sterilized and refilled, so it could use the same bottles over and over. So they really were recycled. But we didn't have the green thing back in our day.
I remember taking bottles to the store.
But did you have like a nickel deposit and stuff like that? See
I
that?
think it was with my grandma.
Right.
We took them.
But this is when you were.
I was younger, yes.
Yes, younger. Okay, very good. Grocery stores bagged our groceries. Oh, I remember this. This is so cool. Grocery stores bagged our groceries in brown paper bags that we reuse for numerous things. The most memorable, this is the truth, besides household garbage bags, was use of brown paper bags as book covers for our school books. This was to ensure that public property, the books provided for use by the school, were not defaced by our scribbling. Then we were able to personalize our books, but too bad we didn't do the green thing back then.
I remember sitting with my mom with the brown paper bags and making book covers.
Yes,
and then drawing
okay.
on them and stuff.
Oh, this is cute. I love this. I work at a place. We work at a place where they have electric convenience vehicles. They're called ECVs. And while I am sure
People
there are
actually
many people
that need
who
them.
need them, you can see that most of those people that get them should be walking because of the ponderousness of their size. Okay. We walked upstairs because we didn't have an escalator in every store and office building. We walked to the grocery store and didn't climb into a 300 horsepower machine every time we had to go 2 blocks. Excuse me. But she was right. We didn't have the green thing in our day.
Okay, so we walked. I remember walking to the grocery store and stuff, but there were also my mom and 3 girls.
Right.
So and we're all about a year and a half between. So
Right.
at one point, it's easier to corral us in a car.
Yeah, it's like cats.
It's corral us in a car than having to walk with us.
And
but even now, if I only have to get 1 or 2 things,
Right.
I'll walk to the grocery store because it's just
Is it
right.
that close?
It's that close.
Well, and you know, and I want
to. I have Applebee's right near me. I walk to Applebee's so I can get a salad.
I just want to say something too. I'm not making any judgment calls here. I'm just reporting these as facts, because you can't. Sometimes you can't. You got to take the car. Some towns are laid out in such a way where it's not close enough. You
Right.
got to get in the car and you got to go see.
That's
do what you
it
got to
was
do.
When we lived in this, we used to live in the city of Chicago,
Uh-huh.
and you could walk anywhere, just
Right.
about anywhere to anything. And then they moved us out into the middle of nowhere, and you had to drive if you wanted to get anything.
Okay, I'll try and.
Including the bus at the end of the driveway.
Oh, and may I just talk? We had a really novel concept when I was younger. We walked to school and we walked home. And we played outside, and most of us were not very heavy at all, because we burned that stuff up every single solitary day.
We played outside.
So,
Oh my
you know, I mean,
goodness, did we play outside.
the trade-offs, and you can't really blame the kids. Why? Because we've gone through all this electronic junk, and they've got all these things to play with and everything else. And what is it? It's that magic word that we talk about a lot called parenting. Parenting. Easy to have kids, not so easy to raise them. Okay. Get this. Oh, this next one is horribly disgusting. Only kidding.
Not really. You want to know why?
Why?
Because my mama did that to me.
Well, but that's, this is important stuff. Back then, we washed the baby's diapers because we didn't have the throwaway kind. We dried clothes on a line, not an energy-gobbling machine burning up 220 volts. Wind and solar power really did dry our clothes back in our early days. Isn't that quite interesting? Kids got hand-me-down clothes from their brothers and sisters, not always brand new clothing. But that young lady is right. We didn't have the green thing back in our day.
When we moved out of the city, we would dry our clothes on a clothing line until our neighbor would go up and down on his four-wheeler bike.
And wreck.
Yeah, well, and then there's dirt that gets up, and he was on the side of the house where the wind would blow. Just
Nowadays,
the
you
right
put
way.
nail strips out there to
So,
wreck his tires. Sorry, just kidding.
Nail strips.
Yes.
I'll get that kid from walking in my yard next school year with nail strips. Oh. Anyway, I would do that out here,
Right.
but because the sun would be fantastic, although the sun is so powerful where we live,
Right.
I'm afraid it would fade my clothes right away. It would fade.
Right.
And if the wind picks up, there's so much sand.
Now, an
And
angel.
that's my other thing.
That's
I
why-
don't want sand.
No, and I understand, and that's why we can't make judgment calls. All we can do is point out.
What I'm saying is, I want to hang them up outside.
Yeah, because they get that great
but you
smell.
can't always do that.
Okay, we have 1 minute left, so I want to just tell you about this week's song. Many years ago, before there was the internet, in New York City, there was only one place you could go and sing and appear on TV if you weren't a star. And it was called the Joe Franklin Show. And Joe gave everybody a chance, which meant you've seen some really strange
Were you on the
things.
Joe Franklin Show?
Yes, I was on the Joe Franklin Show many times. So you saw a lot of weird stuff. Had the Wizard, okay, so you knew he had a lot of strange, but he had a lot of really strange people too. I was only marginally strange. But this song is called True Tonight, and it talks about the realization that some things that were true when we were young are not so true tonight. Ah, my princess. Arrivederci.
Do something good every day.
Yeah. All that.
Design him a new tuxedo, right? Anything could happen. Here's the Wizard and Glenn Mack, and the song is titled True Tonight, written and sung by the Wizard. Okay.
But that's not so true tonight. We spoke of dreams we'd build someday, how nothing could ever block our way. But that's not so true tonight. Time goes by and new friends may leave. You grow older on your own, and toys return to memories, and then suddenly you're grown. So look around, see if they show those dreams we shared so long ago. And do they shine tonight? When summer lasted for half the year, there was always Mom or Dad. When heroes lived in every form, there was only good and bad. So look